So we're in the middle of filming Chuck Norris Part 2 of the Chuck Norris Karate Commandos feature. But we've done 2 major posts the last few days. We did the Part 1 of Chuck Norris's Karate Commandos, and we did a repost of Silverhawks Part 1. And I was noticing a few trends in the comments, and I usually don't comment on comments, but I wanted to kind of give some people out there some background into some things to settle their stomachs a little bit. And then I also wanted to address something else as well, so I'll jump right in. First, I wanted to address Star Wars Follies, because we really appreciate the fact that there are some very devoted fans to the Star Wars Follies series. And we know that around the internet in toy circles, that's kind of what we're known for, even if it wasn't intentionally what we were seeking to do. But every time we put out a new video, there seems to be a comment or two unrelated to that video saying, please do another Star Wars Follies. When are you going to do another Star Wars Follies? And you all need to understand something important. Star Wars Follies is important to us. Like, it's a really important thing for me personally. And it's also important to the channel. So we're just as enthusiastic about Star Wars Follies as all you guys are, which means that we don't just pump them out like Tic Tacs. I mean, these things aren't going to be a weekly or a monthly thing. Nothing on RetroBlasting is really cookie cutter. Everything is kind of custom made. So Star Wars Follies, which is one of our most important series, both personally and for the channel itself, it's something that I don't say anything until I'm ready to say something. And I also don't say anything until I have something valuable to say, because I think you need to keep in mind that one of the reasons that we all love Star Wars Follies so much is because it always says something substantive, or says something quirky or funny, but nothing brief and throwaway. If I was to jump in and start doing Star Wars Follies like every month, it would start to look like this. This is the speeder bike. It came out in 1983. I had 2 of them growing up. They were always blowing up when I didn't want them to. The speeder bike was really cool. You see, so that's not what I want to do. I'd rather do something more substantive and more meaningful, both for myself creatively and for all of you from an entertainment perspective. But I want to make something very clear. Star Wars Follies is not a finite series. It's never going to go away. It's never going to be the last one. When I think of something interesting and I think about it, long enough to say something substantive, then there will be another Star Wars Follies. But you guys, please be patient, because we put everything we have into those as well as our features. So I just want you to be reassured that Star Wars Follies is never going to end, provided there's something to say. And it's not something that's going to be every week. You just need to be patient, because we love it as much as you do. All right. So the second thing I wanted to address, I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I've had a lot of experience in the social media space at this point, both with all you guys on YouTube, and then of course the I guess it's almost 11,000 people on Facebook, and 2,000 people on Instagram, and all the other various portals. When I started doing this, I went at it with a very gung-ho kind of, I'm going to interact and engage with my audience philosophy. And that hasn't changed. My attitude towards that has always been, you don't need to be somebody that separates yourself from the audience. You are no better than the audience. You need to be interacting with your audience and discussing things with them and being a part of that comment section. I got a lot of advice from other content creators back then and even throughout the years, and even advice from networks and from YouTube and from other places, saying, well, if you want to be successful, then you got to do, this and you got to do this. And some of the advice they told me was, you've got to not interact with your audience. You need to just not respond to comments, and you need to just let that place be, and you need to remove yourself from that, specifically when it comes to trolls. I can't get there. And the trolling across the entire internet space just keeps getting worse, especially in fandom circles. It's just getting worse. And I'm not somebody that believes that the best way to deal with a bully is to just not say anything to them. When I was growing up in the 80s, you dealt with bullies. You dealt with them on the terms that they understood. And then they went away. But for some reason, in the new world of the internet, the idea is to just let them rant and rave and create a mosh pit somewhere, let them sling all the vitriol and the insults and everything they want, and then just leave it there and don't deal with it. And that's just not in my DNA. I can't do it. Initially, what I tried to do with the angry people was I tried to engage them directly. That wasn't exactly what needed to happen, and I realize that now, but a variation of that needed to occur. So it was a middle ground between the advice I was getting, which was to just, wind up the watch and then let it run and then walk away, and what my instinct was, which was to bare knuckle box every single one of these people. That wasn't working either. Here's the deal. I understand that there are some people out there who think that my opinions are an attempt to become popular, which, by the way, couldn't be more backwards a mode of thinking, because if I wanted to be popular, I would be saying things like Thundercats are great and pop vinyls are awesome and oh my gosh, have you checked out the latest Loot Crate? Oh my God. If you want to be popular, there are a bazillion websites and YouTube channels out there that are popular because they shill for all of these companies and they toe these marketing lines, and they're shadow marketers, by the way, and they say exactly what everybody wants to hear. They blow sunshine and rainbows up your rear end, and that's how you get popular. If you really think, if you're one of those 1% of people out there who think that I'm trying to become popular by saying unpopular things, you need to go back to school and get educated again, because you don't understand how this works, all right? I could have probably had 2 to 3 times as many subscribers by now if I had just said 6 years ago that Thundercats were amazing. But I didn't say that because it wasn't honest. From where I'm standing, that wouldn't have been an honest opinion coming from me. So you guys need to rethink your thinking. I've been told don't fight these people. I've been told don't engage these people. I've been told leave it alone. But the fact is that we are a community. I am no better than anybody out there right now who's listening to this, who's been a longtime supporter of this channel. It's one of the reasons that I focus on and am a collector of things that we could all get off the shelf growing up, not prototypes and rare things and exclusives and all that crap. That's where I live, is the service merchandise, Kmart, Toys R Us space, whatever that was from 1977 to 1993. I mean, that was where I lived, and that's what I'm into. But the fact is that I'm not going to sit around and let trolls and angry people dictate how this space works for our community anymore. When I posted the last 2 videos, especially the Silverhawks one, which was an old one, by the way, I had a lot of people coming at me, just automatically with the insults. You effing moron, you effing pathetic idiot. Blah, blah, blah. That's not going to fly anymore here. The co-host of the Dreamland podcast, Aaron Harper, he once told me that unlike the rest of YouTube, where the comments section is just allowed to be a mosh pit, he said that RetroBlasting was more like the Octagon in Chuck Norris, where you walk into the comments section of RetroBlasting and you posture yourself a certain way. Michael's going to see that as a challenge, and he's going to, you know, take you on. Well, that was probably true for the last 4 or 5 years. It's not exactly true anymore, and it's not going to be. But the way it is going to work is, if you're on a sidewalk and you're minding your own business, and someone comes up to you and just punches you in the face, chances are you're going to defend yourself. Apparently, on the internet, when someone punches you in the face, every rule you're supposed to follow says, well, you got to stay positive, and you can't say anything back, and you got to just let the troll do what the trolls are going to do. I'm not going to let a person do that on the sidewalk. Why am I going to let a person do that to me, in my comment section? It spoils the community. It makes the interaction between all of us toxic. I just don't want that anymore. Trolls don't build anything. They're just out there on the internet, tearing things down, trying to tear things down. Personal attacks are their first weapon. They're not. The funny part is they often say, "Well, we're defending positivity, and you're so negative." And it's like, I'm just criticizing a toy line. You're coming at a real human being and telling them how much they suck. That's the ultimate negativity. So you're a hypocrite that offers up no value to any of these discussions. I don't mind if somebody disagrees with the subject matter. If you come on the page and you say, I really like the Silverhawks, and here's why. I'd like to counterpoint some of the things you said. I've never deleted comments like that. Never. It's the personal stuff. And now I've seen that it's started to bleed over, where people are starting to attack all of us. They're starting to attack the audience watching these videos. That's not going to fly anymore either. No. Trolls and people who have nothing substantive to say except slinging personal insults and profanity, you don't have a voice here anymore. I'm over it. And one of the reasons that I found out that I was being given the advice to leave it alone for so long was because they were telling me, if you want to be successful on YouTube, you have to do this. And I didn't equate at the time that their idea of success was different from mine, because I'm not trying to do YouTube for a living. See, they're kissing everybody's ass and staying out of everybody's way and not saying anything to anyone, because every single person who comments or thumbs down or whatever, they're a click and a view for that video. I've always been independently solvent of YouTube. I have a career outside YouTube. I don't rely on YouTube for my income. So I really don't have to kiss the ass of every single jerkwad that comes along and tries to punch me in the face and tries to punch, my audience in the face. I don't have to. I don't have to play namby-pamby positivity. And if by now you're sitting there on the keyboard and you're thinking, I need to tell Michael that he needs to be more positive, I'm going to stop you right there. Shut up. Because it's that attitude that's allowed these trolls to just run rampant through fandom for the last few years, because nobody en masse has decided they're going to, draw a line in the sand and say, this is it. Well, this is my line in the sand. This is it. I'm no longer going to engage them, but they no longer have a voice here. If you come at me with a personal attack, if you come at me with all kinds of profanity, if you come at my audience with all kinds of profanity and generalizations, and you're not saying anything substantive, your comment's not only getting deleted, you won't be able to comment on any other videos on this channel anymore. And frankly, I don't really care what you, the 1% out there, are thinking right now, because I have been in good friendships with 99% of the people I've interacted with on this channel for 6 years. And I know a lot of them by name. It's like Cheers. I know them by their handles, and I'm always glad to see them. Norm! I'm over you guys running in here that this vocal minority that offers no value, isn't actually able to discuss the topic at hand. All you want to do is sling mud and throw insults. You're done. I've dealt with you before. I'll keep dealing with you as far as getting rid of you. So if you think, well, I'll just keep harassing the guy, I don't sweat you. We're independent, and I am not a click whore. I don't need every view as far as, you know, so I don't have to play by these weird YouTube rules. And I'm not going to. I've never played by the rules as far as saying the popular thing versus not. I've never kissed the ass of some movie studio. I'm not about to kiss yours. So if you're thinking you're wanting to say something to me right now, you better get it out of your system, because it's the last thing you're ever going to say on this channel. For the rest of you, thank you for being with us for the last 6 years, the last 3 years, the last year, the last month, and being part of this channel. It's about to get even better than it was. As far as being in the comments section, I'm never going to stop looking at the comments and dealing with things. And my awesome moderator, who I will keep nameless right now until we get past all this, he's also doing a great job keeping everything, you know, moderated and pleasant for everybody. I want this to be a fun place to be. And we've got some fun stuff coming up. And you're never going to hear me talk about trolls again. This is the final word on it. We've got Chuck Norris Part 2 coming up. We've got Buck Rogers coming up, which is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you to A.G. Devitt for the nose cone on this Starfighter. He sent that a few weeks ago, so that's going to be fun. And we've also got Star Wars Follies 14, I believe, in development as well. It's not going to be for a while. Don't freak. It's going to be, you know, a few months from now. Tom Burgess is going to be with me on the Buck Rogers video. Tom Burgess from iGrewUpStarWars.com. So that'll be fun. And then we've got a few new surprises coming for you. So stick to this space and keep watching, and we will see you on the next video. See you guys.